Okay. And no follow-up. Any next witness? PASCO would call Ms. Crystal Moore. Ms. Moore, you previously been sworn, is that correct? Were you sworn earlier this morning? State your name.
Crystal Moore.
And what do you do for work, Ms. Moore?
I'm the Director of External Services for the PASCO County Tax Collectors Office.
Okay. For what's external services?
External services includes our state agency growth theft scheme. It includes my motor vehicle services, dealer services, cost center.
Are you in that position just over Wesley Chapel or over all the offices?
Organization-wide for all 5 locations.
Organization-wide. Where do you sit at?
I am based out of Filax.
Fair to say you're the supervisor for the safety agents?
Yes.
And could you just kind of establish what is the tax collector's office?
The tax collector's office is an agent that acts on behalf of numerous departments, including Department of Agriculture, Department of Motor Vehicles, Department of Health. Just a whirlwind of transactions that we do for customers.
Can you give some examples of what type of services you offer?
We do birth certificates, we do concealed weapons, we do fingerprinting, we do driver's license, motor vehicle titles and registration, taxes, business taxes, income tax.
On an average day, about how many customers do you service countywide?
In all 5 offices, probably about 2,000 to 2,500 a day.
And how long have you been with the tax collector?
I've been with them for 13 years.
Over the years, has the tax collector's office found it necessary to adopt a video, photograph, and recording policy?
Yes, sir.
And what's the basis for doing so?
There was a disruption in business. We could no longer serve our customers the way that we've always wanted to and give them that good customer service. So we had to put something in place in order to monitor that.
And what is it about video recording that could be problematic to your business?
We have the Driver Privacy Act where we have to protect customers' social security, address, date of birth, their private information, and we're seeing a lot of that at our counter. So when someone comes in and we're jeopardizing or putting that at risk to become public record, we have to do what we do to protect that. And one of the ways we do that is stopping business.
So the Driver Protection Act that you referenced, is that a federal regulation?
Yes, federal.
That's a federal regulation that your agency is bound by.
Yes.
Do you, under that regulation, have an affirmative duty to take steps to make sure that that information is protected?
Yes, sir.
Is the video recording policy one of the steps that you've taken in order to comply with that law?
Yes, sir.
And can you kind of just summarize what is the video recording policy?
The video recording policy doesn't eliminate the ability to video. It just puts a process in place. You gotta make the appointment, you gotta go through Roger Giordano. We honor those requests, but we just have to have a certain process in place to do that.
And what about outside of the facility or the entrance, actually outside the building?
Yeah, outside of the building, we're not in jeopardy. There's no private information outside the building.
So it's only for those who wish to record inside have to go through that process?
Yes, sir.
And is that policy available anywhere for members of the public?
Yes, it's on our website. Yes.
So our copies already been introduced into evidence. Is the policy also posted at your property?
Yes, it's posted at each entrance.
Specifically with regards to the Wesley Chapel office, is it posted at the entrance there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I put in front of you open remark for identification purposes. Is Exhibit F, do you recognize that?
I object to that because I wasn't violating a policy.
That's not,
Okay, go ahead.
you can argue that.
Okay,
That's not a legal basis to keep the further.
okay.
You recognize that?
I do, yes, sir.
How do you recognize it?
Sorry.
How do you recognize it?
The video policy right above the pamphlet books that we have posted,
right in the walkway where members of the public come in?
Right,
And is that how it would have appeared on February 2nd, 2024?
yes, sir.
We seek to introduce as Exhibit F.
Yep. It is, counties up.
For the record, composite F, it's got 2 photos in it. Was it admitted? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was, I'm sorry.
So in addition to that, policy on the billboard there, is there also a notice on the front door as individuals come into your offices?
Yes,
Does the Wesley Chapel office have such a notice on the front door?
yes.
Notice on the front door. All right, Johnny, it's been pre-marked for identification purposes as Exhibit G. If you could take a look at that package. Do you recognize that? How do you recognize it?
It's on the doors of all of our offices.
And is that specifically depicts the doors of Wesley Chapel office?
Yes,
And would that have been there on February 2nd, 2024? We move into evidence, it's composite sheet.
Any objection? No. This county's composite G.
And Ms. Moore, do you have television screens inside we'll talk about the Wesley Chapel office specifically. Do you have television screens in there?
yes, sir.
What's the purpose of the television screens?
They have various advertisements on it. References our nephew system as your tickets called, but it also has some policy reminders on there. Has a daughter driver privacy act that we have to honor. And it honors, or it mentions taking a seat for safety purposes.
From their sliders. It was sent to with everything else. Screenshots from their sliders. All right, I place in front of you what's been marked for identification purposes as composite H. Do you recognize that?
I do, yes, sir.
Could you go through and testify as to what's on each page of the composite?
Yes. It's posted.
What's actually depicted on those?
I'm sorry?
What's actually depicted on those? What are we looking at?
So the customer's personal information, that protection is part of the driver privacy act.
Okay.
That we have to correct that. And then the police have a seat, it's just for safety purposes.
Okay. So those go up on the television screens for everyone in your offices?
They do, yes, yes.
And would those have been on the screen in the Wesley Chapel office on February 2nd?
Yes.
Move into evidence as composite H.
You have anything?
She had the location of it?
Is that an objection?
Objection, well, she had the location of it.
I don't know that.
She's claiming that was on the screens that day in the office.
Violating foundation.
So, okay, you oversee all of the offices,
I do,
right?
yes, sir.
Those television screens you testified to, the sliders, are those on display in all of your offices every day?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And how long has that practice been going on?
There's, I think right now we have about 4 advertisers, so it kind of clips through from the advertiser, to these screens. And then we also have a contract with like PASCO County Animal Services, where we have like an animal screen that pops up, but they're all random. Each screen probably holds its screen as far as like the visibility aspect for, I would say, 30 30 seconds.
The practice you're describing, though, showing these sliders on the screen, that practice was in effect in all locations on February
Oh, yes.
2nd, 2024?
It's been in place for several years.
I would, moving into.
Objection. How does she know if they were even functioning that day? Was she there?
In response, to some extent, I think that goes to weight non-admissibility. She just testified that that's the common practice and she was not there that day. She could testify to that, she was not there that day. But it's the common practice that they're put on. Also in the ordinance for these trespass appeal hearings, that the formal rules of evidence shall not apply. So there's a lot of leeway there. I mean, of course, it has to be relevant to everything that you review, but I think she's laid a sufficient foundation for purposes of this hearing.
I'll admit, but I'm welcome to your testimony if you were in Filax house and you were public, whether they were posted or not.
And I'll just ask you to follow, to your knowledge, were there any IT issues or
Okay,
technical
not
issues?
at all, no. I'm part of the IT group when we have outage tickets, and no, there were no outages that day. Not on the TVs.
So what you're saying is you would actually be aware if there was an outage?
I would, yes, sir.
Objection. A TV could crap out that day. She can't know. She can't know unless she has personal first-hand knowledge.
Alright, that's your opinion. She's testifying that she's on the IT team, and if something happens, she would get a notification. You can't object to whether you.
Okay, I'm an FBI agent.
Alright,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll decide whether I want to believe that.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Does your office have a ticket system for customers that are coming in?
We do, yeah, and the ticket system, yes.
How does that work?
If a customer comes in, they get a ticket for service. If they don't get a ticket, honestly, they're gonna sit in the lobby for an unknown amount of time, but they get a ticket for service. Then the tickets are called anywhere that they can get.
So where do they get the ticket from?
They get it from our gatekeeper, our front desk. There's a sign above it that says, please check in.
Is that right when you come in?
Yes, yes, sir.
Fair to say anybody coming in, and we're talking about Wesley Chapel, of course, is gonna see that.
Absolutely.
Objection. How could she testify to what everybody's gonna see and where their eyes are looking?
A fair objection, but
You could also be blind. You could also be partially blind.
alright. It's not the point. I think the point is that it's in a conspicuous place. Am I right?
That is a conspicuous place where it should be able to be seen from anybody coming in.
Right, it hangs from the ceiling, right over the desk.
I get your point, but she can't testify that everybody can see it, but
She can't testify that I saw it.
I don't think she did.
I would not ask her that. Have you, as part of your job, gone back and actually reviewed video surveillance in this case?
Yes, sir.
And did you review the video surveillance of the appellant arriving into your office?
Yes.
And what did he do?
The person arrives in the office, the gatekeeper does not get a ticket, has a seat in the middle of the lobby, about the mid-row back, and probably sits there for 5 or 10 minutes.
When you say a person, it appeared to be the appellant in this case? So it sat in the lobby without taking a ticket.
Right.
I'd like to play a video for the appellant as well as Karen Wilson.
Which videos?
The surveillance video.
Objection. I made a public records request for that video and they told me they are not allowed to give it out. So for him to have a copy of it, no way. I wanted to bring in that surveillance footage and they told me I'm not allowed to have it.
That's if he wanted it. I don't know. We can.
So, I don't know that I'm the right person to address your complaint about the public records request. I know that there are certain exemptions to public records. I don't know if one applies to this.
How did he get them if I can't get them?
He's a county employee.
So, I needed them for my hearing. They cited a law saying that the law says you're not allowed to have the schematics of where the wiring and the cameras are. They misquoted the law. When I told them they misquoted the law, they just completely ignored me.
Yeah, I'll withdraw the request, it's not that important to the,
I mean, yeah, if you wanna go in the other room and watch it first,
No, if I can't have the videos, they can't have the videos.
fine, no problem.
I have it, but.
If he's allowed to have it, whether he can use it for it or not, I don't get your point.
But I'm not allowed to have it.
I'm not here to answer the.
Oh, interesting.
Alright, I'm not gonna get into evidence, so I think it's a moot point. What you observed on that video, he sat there for, you said 5 to 10 minutes, never took a ticket.
Yes, sir.
Was there anything else you observed on that video that was indicative of, video recording?
You can see that he had the body camera on, but that's all. From that view, I couldn't tell if it was living right or not.
Alright, did he eventually get up and from that?
Eventually, he went up and he went to the gatekeeper, and I can see that he spoke to her.
So, for someone to not check in and just kind of sit there, is that usual behavior in your office?
Absolutely.
Objection. What does it matter? It's a public place. I'm allowed to sit in there and take notes.
Well, he said he couldn't do that, yes, it was unusual.
What does it matter if it's usual? What's the relevance?
I don't know, let's see where they go with it.
For someone who was trying to get quickly in and out, is that something?
Objection.
What?
The term quickly, who brought that up? Who said
He
quickly?
brought it up. I gave you leeway to ask whatever you wanted.
There's no quickly about it. I was there to do free press. I had a clipboard with me. Doesn't matter how quickly or usual it was. It's irrelevant.
It may be relevant, I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard it.
Okay.
I'm happy to move on, it's not that important. You said you supervise the safety agents, correct?
I do, yes, sir.
Is one of their responsibilities conducting driver's tests?
Yes, yes, sir.
So on the day of this incident, did your safety agents and your Wesley Chapel office, did they have to suspend doing driver's tests?
They did. We had to stop taking road tests out from 2:52 until 3:50 on that day.
You actually keep a written log of all the road tests?
Objection. They didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'll report the question.
I'm fine with what the question was, I understand what. Testimony earlier today was the policy is somebody's reporting they shut down everything.
They've also testified they had zero clue if I was recording or not. The rest, everything after that should
What
be
we're here
moved.
for today, I'm taking it all in.
All right.
Okay?
Mhm.
But I don't think anything was said wrong right there.
Okay. They said that they had to.
First,
They make their own,
policy.
they make their own
They had
decisions.
to.
Well, it's nothing that I did.
I get it,
said that.
It's not a time frame to argue.
No, it's not. And no one said that. You're making assumptions.
Okay.
They said that they had to. But if that's
Well, what's the
their
relevance?
own
How would-
policy, then that's their own policy. But they shut down.
Okay, so they're not saying it's because of me.
I didn't hear that. I heard
Okay,
they
very
had
good, very good, as long as that's not said.
So, you actually keep a written log of all the driver's tests that are administered?
Yes, sir.
And did you review the log from February 2nd, 2024?
I did.
And you've already testified, that there was a gap in tests that were administered?
Yes, sir.
How long was that gap?
We didn't take any road tests out from 2:52 p.m. until 3:50. We had a 2:40 appointment that day, a 3:15 appointment that day, and a 3:50. So my 2:40 didn't go out until 4:16. My 3:15 didn't go out until 4:19, and my 3:50 didn't go out until 4:45. So we were well past an hour of the appointment time for the customer to pay me.
Okay. You show her a copy of the log.
What is that?
Their log are redacted copy.
What is this again?
It's the log she just testified to of the driver's test that they administered that day. More I place in front of you, pre-marked for identification purposes, is exhibit J, do you recognize that?
Yeah, from the second.
The road test log from the second that you just testified to?
Yes, sir.
Has that version been redacted to protect private and confidential?
Absolutely, we have to, yes.
You would seek to move it in to the evidence is, I think we're up to the jail. I don't know, think for that one. G, maybe? I have J.
Huh?
I have J, but I will see if you move in there.
Oh, maybe it's these. Whatever you say. You're right. The photos are put up. So, any objection to this?
I don't see the relevance.
I mean,
There's outlined in the ordinance.
Objection.
what?
I didn't do anything to stop business, other than stand there and try to make a public record request. That is completely irrelevant. How could I stop a driving test happening outside? It doesn't make any sense. Standing in one spot asking for a public record request peacefully does not stop them from doing any type of business. They tried this in the last hearing too. Tried to blame me for their actions.
I understand your argument, but their argument, I also understand, which is they believe you to be recording, and if they believe you to be recording, then their policy says they shut everything down. Part of the elements of whether you should trespass under the code is whether you provided a disruption of business.
Of course I
They
do.
believe you were recording. Bottom line is, I see the relevance enough to hear it out. Whether you're recording or not, we have to take this particular evidence as with the assumption that you were, for the consideration of whether this is admissible or not.
Let's say I was recording, how would that stop a driving test?
That's their policy. If somebody's recording, they shut down the work. I don't know. I guess we would.
So what facts do they have that I disrupted a driving test?
Yeah, I mean, he brings up a good point, Mr. Brown. Is the policy that they shut down everything? Or is it that they shut down the counter business?
Do I could, have the witness testify to that?
Sure.
So, when there's, believed to be an instance of video recording inside the office, what actions does your office take and why?
Basically, one of the management team will go out to the lobby and make the announcement that we currently have to stop business. We're doing this to protect the private information. We stop business, we have all the customers step away from the counter, we ask that they put away all the private documents, so nothing is in plain view. And then we just wait it out until sheriff arrives or until we decide that there's no longer that threat and we can be in business again.
And just to follow up on that, the individuals who administer the driver's test, who's that?
My safety.
The safety agents required, or is it often necessary for the safety agents to be inside the building?
Yes, because we have customers that we've now made sit down and wait. Now they're getting a little unruly and a little anxious.
So because of that, they're not available to administer driver's
Yes,
tests.
yes, they've got to maintain the peace.
That's the relevance.
What was the last part?
They got to maintain the peace with the customers, then they get a little unruly when we got to stop business.
So,
those tests that weren't able to happen during that hour, I think you already testified, did they happen later in the day?
Yes,
Based on that, did you have to authorize overtime to the
I
safety
did,
agent?
yes, sir.
That also have an effect on the business that day. In your position, moving on, in your position with the tax collector's office, have you actually ordered body cameras for your safety agents?
I have, yes.
Or at least started to look into it? How many have you ordered?
Right now, I've only got one. I've ordered the other 4, so all of our office will have one. We started with one to test, just to check the video footage and the audio quality to see if it's where we wanted it, and then I ordered the rest.
So you have one that you've been testing?
I do.
Your safety agents have not actually worn it out in the field yet?
And Gulf Harbors is where we tested it, so that one safety agent there, he has tested it, and he has taken it out in the field there.
Okay. And you observed the video footage that Mr. Zephyrhills that was played earlier, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, and did you compare the body camera, well, it's the same body camera that's here today, fair to say? Did you compare that body camera with the one you've been testing?
Yes, it's very similar.
Does it appear to be a similar model?
Yeah.
just so I'm clear, we're talking about Mr. Felix on the third line?
Yes. Show you the side by side. Show you what's been pre-marked for identification purposes only as Exhibit K. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
How do you recognize it?
it's the same camera from the video footage versus the camera that I purchased.
Objection, she has no way of knowing that.
I'm not seeing what the images, what do you mean?
They have a picture of a camera from the internet, and they have a picture of a camera I was wearing that day. That doesn't mean I don't have 5 body cameras.
I think what she's telling you, what she's testifying to is that the camera you were wearing that day is one of the photos, and the camera she bought is the other one.
She testified that the camera I was wearing that day is sitting right there, and there's no way she would know that.
I don't think that's what she's saying. I think she's, what I heard is.
That's what I heard.
Alright, well, I disagree with you, but and you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
Testifying that the photo you're looking at is 2 different cameras on one photo. One of them one you bought, and one of them's from the video of him,
yes,
that day he was in there.
yes,
That's what I thought.
Do they appear to be similar models?
they are very similar, yes, sir.
We would move that into evidence as Exhibit K.
We'll give me this exhibit K.
So that body camera of a similar model that you've been testing, we've had opportunity to test it.
Yes,
Have you ever observed a flashing red light on that model?
it does, when we recorded this from right at the top.
Is that the only time you've seen a flashing red light when you're recording? Okay. What about a red solid light?
Red silent light?
Solid.
Yeah. Is when it's about to go dead, we have a green when it's ready to go.
Ready to go, meaning in standby?
Charge.
What was the solid red light? What was the answer?
I'm sorry.
The solid red light, did you answer that question?
Usually that means it needs to be charged.
And the green means it's charged?
Yes, they're ready to go.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
And if you hit record, what does the light do?
There's lit in the red.
You want to demonstrate that?
Is that the camera?
What was the question?
That's the camera that you purchased?
Yes, this is the one I purchased.
Is the camera that's in your hand right now, is that the same one you testified to that you purchased that you've been testing?
Yes, sir.
So, is it fair to say the only time you've seen a flashing red light on that camera is if it was recording?
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
What's your name again?
My name is Crystal Moore.
Where you work?
Make a lake.
Land O'Lakes Tax Collectors Office?
Yes, sir.
You Michael Son, your boss?
Yes.
Is Timothy Boyd your boss?
Yes.
They tell you we can record inside there as long as we're back up?
No,
No. Where did the office manager get that information from?
Objection, speculation.
It's not speculation, it's
I
like
can't testify where this video.
you're in charge of the city agency? Did you hear the testimony where Jerry said? Jerry said, you're under them, right?
He's under me, yes, but I did not hear his testimony, I was not part of it.
Can I play it for you? Can I play it for you?
The video you played earlier?
Yeah, sure.
Assume you don't have any objection?
No.
I'll object to the question.
Okay. Hold on.
That's Jerry, right?
Yes.
Is that your employee? Okay. You know that lady?
I do.
Who is she?
She's the office manager of Mandalay.
And you hear her saying as long as they're back away from the counter, they can record it, right? I'm sorry?
This is the data that goes.
August. Last year.
Okay.
Is this lady he your employee?
Yeah.
So you're not in charge of her?
Yep.
But he is your employee?
Yes.
And you see they're both agreeing to that? You see Jerry nodding, right? Okay.
Okay, now it's going here.
Excuse me?
You not to people here. I'm nodding to you now, but it doesn't mean I agree with you.
So you don't agree with me that that's Jerry?
That's Jerry, but
Okay.
I'm not saying he's nodding because he agrees. He's nodding.
So
because
she
he's
agrees.
confident.
She agrees.
Objection, I object to any question of her interpreting how people on video that she wasn't present for, she doesn't know anything about.
She wasn't present for my last trespass here, but we're still taking her testimony. Now she needs to be present?
She testified to policies of the office, that's what she testified to.
Then here's one of her employees saying it's okay if they report in here.
Well, I think the question is objecting to is the body language of Jerry.
Okay, fine, forget the nodding, that's fine.
Good.
Instructed them basically, as long as they're not, creating havoc or anything like that, they're allowed to record inside with no issues or anything like that. They're just trying to get away from it. Correct.
Pretty clear, right?
It is, but I got that in my closet.
I'm sorry, so when your employee is agreeing with the police officer that it's okay to record in there, they're mistaken?
Yes.
Oh, they're mistaken?
Because the
The
policy
office
says-
manager is mistaken and Jerry who works under you is mistaken?
Yes.
Oh,
Misunderstanding.
and the police are mistaken?
I can't answer for the police, that's not part of
Did you
me.
just hear the police say it's fine to record in there according to Mike Pisano?
Again, I didn't hear that myself.
You didn't just hear
I didn't hear Mr. Pisano tell the sheriff's office that they're
it?
allowed to do that.
Do you speak to Mike Pisano?
I do.
And you've never heard him say this? Have you ever heard Tim Coed say this?
No.
So were these people delusional?
I'm not saying they're delusional, I'm saying there's a miscommunication or misunderstanding.
Yeah, what's the point? That was my own point before.
She works at the Lango Lake office.
Right.
Which
Her
her,
mistakes.
her direct, it's not a mistake. That's the whole point.
She's testifying that her.
I know she's testifying that it's a mistake, conveniently.
No, she's testifying that her supervisors never told her that. You're asking, well, why did this lady say that? I don't know.
Where
Yeah, she's wrong, that's what she's testifying.
Where would these people get this information from?
She can't testify to that, I agree with you. Think about it. Anybody you work with, you're responsible for if they misunderstand something, I mean, it's not reasonable. She's telling you she's
Her
wrong.
direct underling said, they can record in here as long as they back up.
She's saying they're wrong. She's not standing by it.
Okay. And you won't let me show you Mike Pisano saying it because I don't have it with me today, correct?
Correct. Unless, I mean.
So Mike Pisano has never, ever directed you to what these people are saying in this video? Tim's never directed you that.
No, sir.
So what is the direction from Tim and Mike Pisano about recording this?
The direction is our policy that's in black and white, they've already seen.
Now, how do you know this model and that model are the exact same?
I didn't say they were exact same, I said they were similar.
Okay, does that mean they're the same?
No.
Does that mean they function the same?
Similar.
Does that mean they function the same?
They're similar, that's the way I answered, that's all I can say. I'm not a body cam professional, they're similar.
So you don't know if they're the same.
They're similar.
Are they the exact same?
I don't know,
Okay,
I'm not a professional.
I didn't ask if you were a professional.
Okay.
Okay. So were you at the tax collector's office that day when I was there?
Yeah.
So you have no personal first-hand knowledge of what happened that day?
Other than video,
Is the video open for public records, the surveillance video?
I don't know, I'm not in charge of video, of public records, so I can't answer that.
Who is in charge of public records?
We have a group that's in charge of
Do you have a right to make public records requests in person?
that. You do.
Okay. So if I'm accosted and being treated like a school shooter for trying to get a public record, is that your policy to treat the public that way?
No, not when they're there for service.
Right, so I was there for a service, you agree with that,
I
right?
do.
And the reason I couldn't get the service is?
Because you refuse to put your body camera in the car car, or turn it around at least, so that.
Ma'am, how do you know this? How do you know
They
this?
were not recording.
How do you know I was instructed to put the body camera on the car?
She said through the testimony.
Yeah, but that's hearsay from another guy. We just said we can't go by, how do you know he's not mistaken? We just said the other person could be mistaken, now he can't be mistaken?
You asked how did she know that you were instructed to put it up? You testified to it, and so did the
I
other.
didn't testify to that, I was never told to put it in my car, never.
That's what you testified to.
No, sir, no, sir, you told me to take it off. You didn't tell me to go outside, you didn't tell me to go to my car, none of that stuff. He said, take it off.
I misunderstood. I thought you said he told you to take your car.
No.
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
You made the argument, well, I don't want to have to go back out to my car if there's a news story.
Yeah, my argument is that if I have all my equipment and I want to record the outside, and then I want to take notes on the inside, I have to take my stuff all the way to the car, go inside, take notes.
But where did the car thing come from then if he didn't?
He made that up.
Oh, you're saying he testified that he told you.
He tested, not me.
Alright, I misunderstood. I thought you
No,
were.
he did not tell me to take it to my car. He said, take it off.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a right to wear a camera?
No, not when we have the perception that it could be live. I mean,
So your
we don't
perception supersedes the law.
have perception, yes. We've got to go by perception.
Instead of the law.
If it's possible that you're recording and I'm endangering private information from my customers, I have to do away with that. I have to ask you to put it away.
Okay,
Ask you to
so
put it up.
if
Ask you
someone's
to
wearing
put it
glasses that record,
I'm sorry?
if someone's wearing glasses that have a camera, how would you do that?
I wouldn't know.
So,
But
does everybody,
If I
hold on,
can
man,
search
hold on,
for
man,
this-
please, hold on. Does everyone in there have, man, please, just answer my question.
I will.
Does everyone in there have a camera in the pocket?
No.
So your phone doesn't have a camera?
Mine does, but not everybody else's does. Maybe
Do
they
the
don't have.
majority of smartphones these days have a camera app on them?
They do.
Can the majority of people in the United States take their phone out of their pocket and record?
If we see a customer pull their phone out.
That's not my question, man.
Not in the tax collector, no.
I'm sorry?
Not in the tax
Do
collector.
the
no.
majority of Americans have the capability to record video on in a moment's notice? They do. Does everyone, the majority of people who walk in the tax collector's office have a camera in their pocket on their phone?
They do, but they're not using it.
How do you know this?
Because they would have their camera out to get the video.
So if I turn my phone over and put it on my clipboard like this,
I'm gonna ask you, if I see it blinking, or I think that you're recording
phone's
me,
blink?
based on your body language, I'm gonna ask you, are you recording me? Because if you are, I'm gonna ask you to turn that off.
Okay, so let's do that.
Same thing.
I think,
If you give me the
So you're telling me if I just hold my phone here, you're gonna be suspicious and perceive that I'm recording?
if you give me the impression, that's a possibility, yes, I'm gonna ask you.
So you strictly go out by your feelings? Is that correct? No objective measures are necessary? No proof?
We've had CDL drivers come in with GoPros on their app, we ask them to put them in the car, they do it.
You ask, it's a request, it's not mandatory, correct?
We ask them, they can't.
Is it a request or is it mandatory?
We first ask. if
Is
they
it a
don't-
request or is it mandatory?
you don't need to dive into witness. She was saying.
She's not answering. Is it a request or not?
They asked.
They
And
ask,
she was
and
gonna
if you
finish
don't
and you
comply,
interrupted her.
now it's mandatory, policy
Okay,
comes
say
out.
again, say again.
When we ask, if you don't comply, then the policy comes out. The trespass.
So the policy says you cannot have a camera.
You can't be using a camera now.
That's not what I asked her.
Was she? Okay.
That is not what I asked her. They're being deceptive and evasive again. Am I allowed to have a camera in there, yes or no?
In your pocket, yes.
Oh, okay, show me the policy that says only in your pocket you can have a camera.
It's not in policy.
So where is it?
The judgment call. We have to enforce that policy. The only way to enforce that policy is to eliminate any potential for arrest.
So no phones are allowed in there?
They are, but they can't be up. Like somebody recording. You know yourself. You can
Oh,
tell.
I'm
when
sorry.
somebody's
So they can't be up, but they can be like that, right?
As long as you got your finger over that camera, I'm not gonna ask you.
Also, I have to have my hand over the lens. Is that correct?
Eliminate me thinking you're recording, yes.
So I can come in there and prove myself innocent to you. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but don't speculate. Don't give me the assumption
Isn't that what you're doing?
that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Aren't you speculating when you say I'm recording?
No.
What
I can
evidence
see
do
a
you
red
have?
light blinking and I can see my camera does the same
Is
thing.
this blinking?
No.
Am I recording?
There's a setting you can turn on.
Right. So it doesn't matter if it's blinking or not, correct? That's
So now
irrelevant.
every body camera that comes in, we're gonna ask whether it's blinking red or not.
So every phone that comes in, you're gonna ask, every phone that has a camera.
That's held up, yes.
So if they're held up, and that's in the policy, or can I read that?
It's not in the policy, sir.
So you're just making this up?
The only way I can enforce a policy is to be proactive, and that's how I'm proactive.
You're proactive by?
By eliminating the potential for someone to report.
And let me finish this.
Everyone has a potential to report, do they not?
They
Do if it's out of
Listen,
their pocket and it's hanging up in the air,
But what if it's in their pocket like this?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, I can be recording right now.
I wouldn't have a problem with
So you wouldn't perceive this as recording?
No.
Oh, my goodness. So, again, we're going based on your emotions and your perceptions and your feelings. We're not going on any objective facts.
Emotions and not feelings, perception, yes.
What you perceive is how you feel, is it not?
Yeah.
I feel like he was recorded. I perceive
See that you were recording.
because the light is blinking.
Yes.
Man, you see now that there's no light blinking,
Right.
but I'm still recording.
Okay.
You understand that?
I do.
Okay. So there's no way for you to know.
Okay. So from now on, you certainly brought
It
that to light
doesn't
to us.
prove that you weren't recording, though.
Huh?
It doesn't prove.
They have to prove I was recording, not to prove that I wasn't.
Alright, well, what, can you make it blink red if you're not recording?
You can set it any way you
I'm
want.
asking you a specific question.
You can set it up any way you want.
Okay, so you can blink red when it's not recording?
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't gone through all the functions. I haven't had that one, but
So you never used it where it's blinking red and you weren't recording?
I'm not sure about that, honestly.
That's a problem.
Why is it a problem?
Because they testified that it was blinking. You just testified you don't think you've ever used it where it was blinking, where you weren't recording.
I didn't testify that.
You just said it.
Do I have to prove myself innocent here?
Yeah, you're the appellant.
I have to prove myself innocent?
You have to.
I don't have to be proven
I should
guilty.
overturn the appeal. The burden's on you.
Say it again?
You filed an appeal. The burden's on you to
I didn't get an original hearing. What do you mean?
You appealed the trespass.
Right.
Right.
I wasn't recording. They have no evidence I was recording. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. They're going by their perception and their emotions and their feelings.
Most of it actually, but I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know.
What don't you know, sir?
We'll get to it when you testify.
I'm confused.
Me too.
So, the only evidence you have that I was recording was that you perceive I was recording. Okay. Other than that, you have nothing else.
Customers were certainly under that same perception.
What's customer?
Our customers in the lobby, that's why they were upset when we stopped business.
They were upset because you stopped business, but not because I was standing way off to the side, right? Making a record request?
They were upset that you had a camera and their information was in jeopardy.
Do you have evidence of this?
In return, I had to stop business.
You have evidence of this?
I don't.
You have a testimony, written testimony, affidavit,
I don't.
witness statement?
I don't.
You have anything?
I will make sure we get that.
You have anything?
I don't today.
Just your perception. And why should I trust you?
You don't have to.
Well, I'm asking you, are you trustworthy?
I am.
And why should I trust you?
Because I'm trustworthy. I'm an honorary person.
You are.
I am.
Okay. Is your policy congruent with the law?
Objection.
I'm not a legal attorney.
No.
I know the policy is the policy and I enforce
Does
it.
your policy have to be congruent with the law?
Objection.
Again, I'm not an
Mr.
attorney.
Felix, we've gone down this road 1,000 times. Do you challenge the constitutionality of the
Nope.
policy?
The legality.
Alright, well then, that's not what we're here for today.
Okay.
Whether.
Can your policy be changed on a whim?
It can be adjusted as society changes, as the public changes.
I'm saying, not in writing, his manager told him to go out and record me. And he said it was in the video recording policy, and then he changed his
It's
testimony.
not in the policy, it's part of the procedure that they were instructed to do.
So they're instructed to violate the policy.
They didn't violate the policy. There's a section in there that says government can do it, and it also allows us to do it for safety issues. So when we feel we have a safety issue, we're certainly allowed to report.
Do I have the right for my own safety to make an objective record?
No, if you fear for your safety, you need to call law enforcement.
I did call law enforcement.
Okay,
Okay.
then you follow the proper protocol. If you fear for your safety, you call law enforcement. That's what all of us do.
So what safety was in jeopardy? Whose safety?
The safety of the privacy of the information of the customers we had in the office at the time that you were there.
So do you believe it's illegal to gather private information?
public? Yes.
I didn't say that, ma'am. Just answer the question.
The state gathers that information, we don't know council.
Is it illegal for someone to gather personal information on a tax sheet?
Yeah. What's relevant?
Because they're saying the Driver Protection and Privacy Act, which only pertains to their employees in the motor vehicle database, something I do not have access to, something that doesn't apply to me.
I understand exactly what it is and what they're saying about it. It's their responsibility to keep it private, that's what you're getting at, right?
Right, and you cannot violate an American citizen to keep the records private. You have to create privacy with either take them to a private room, put up some walls like they did during COVID.
Again, I think that's a constitutionality and policy argument, but
It's not.
okay.
And the law also says it's not illegal to gather content, but only to knowingly distribute or publish it. So I can go there and record all day by law. Anyone.
Right, but they are required to not let you do that. They're required to protect that information.
That has not, the DPPA does not say that at all, anywhere. Where in the DPPA does it say you have the right to stop someone from recording in public?
Doesn't say that have the right to
Doesn't
stop
say that.
recording.
It doesn't say that.
It says that they have the duty to protect it from disclosure to you. It's not your information.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have the duty.
You're right. That's why they created a policy to stop you from recording, because it's their duty.
It's their duty to create privacy, not by violating a human being. Because then they can say you can't wear a cross. Then they can say you don't have free speech in here. It's all under the same.
No, there's plenty of case law about time, place, and manner restrictions.
Correct. When they're open for business in a public place.
There's time, place, and manner restrictions.
Right. The time is during business hours.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue the constitutionality of the.
I'm not talking about that.
That's exactly what you're doing. That's what you've been doing this whole time.
No. The law is the law.
Do you have any more questions of this?
Yeah. There's policy have to be congruent with the law.
He objected, I sustain that, you don't okay to that.
Who creates policy?
Our man.
Do they use a lawyer?
Yes.
Tim who had testified that they make it out of thin air in our last hearing. You understand that, right?
I do. You asked a very general question. I mean, if you want to pick apart the testimony like you were doing to them, we can do that, but I don't see the
What's the name of the lawyer they use?
I don't know, honestly.
Are you in the meetings when the policies are written?
No.
How do you know they use a lawyer?
I'm told he's a lawyer.
You're told, so it's hearsay. So you don't know, you don't have personal first-hand knowledge.
You didn't ask for that, though.
I'm asking
You
you.
did.
I'm asking you right now.
Okay.
You don't have personal first-hand knowledge that they use a lawyer. Okay. Did you see the last hearing? And your employee is mistaken. The police are mistaken. You don't know if they're the same body cam. You weren't there that day in Wesley Chapel, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is the screen you're saying I saw? Or I should have seen? Or I should have
I've
seen?
been very patient with you and allowed you to ask whatever you want to ask. She never testified to that. I don't see the point in what we're going. She said it was in a conspicuous place.
What was in a conspicuous place?
These postings that they admitted as evidence already.
And you're claiming I saw that?
No, she never testified to that.
You look at the
Sorry, are you acting
TV.
as a lawyer
No, I'm just, my patience is running thin when you object to everything he says. And you're asking stuff.
now? Nobody objected to anything I'm saying except you right now.
Yeah, I am objecting.
Okay, are you acting as a
You've
lawyer?
already asked her, I've already made a decision on it.
Okay, what did the sign say?
The sign of the gatekeeper says, please check it.
And how do you know they were functioning in it? Correct?
We did.
And I was taking notes, right?
Yes.
Then after a few minutes, I got up and, was that peaceful?
From the video, yes.
Was that peaceful when I went up to the gatekeeper?
Yes.
Was that peaceful towards the gatekeeper?
I don't know. I didn't see anything happen.
Has anyone told you that I was unpeaceful towards the gatekeeper?
No, but they wouldn't tell me.
Why would
Office
they?
managers who would get part of work.
not the office manager?
No.
So you have nothing to do with Wesley Chapel?
I oversee the safety agents and I oversee external searches.
And Wesley Chapel, you oversee the agents?
Yes.
Are the agents armed when they're getting driving tests?
Yes.
Did you see me flailing, doing anything threatening to anyone?
No, I didn't watch the whole video. Like I said, I only watched the portion where you sat in the lobby with no ticket and then got up to gatekeeper.
So when I asked the gatekeeper for public records, did she say to me, please take a ticket?
I don't know. I don't have audio. I've
What?
only seen visual.
Okay, so you don't know if the gatekeeper told me to take a ticket?
I don't.
Am I allowed to do public records requests? Did you instruct Mr. Gentry to tell me we don't do those here, you're not allowed to be here to do those?
I see the agents don't handle public records requests. It's the staff that handles it, the office staff.
So if Mr. Gentry's involving himself in a public records request, he's also mistaken, he shouldn't have done that?
He was mistaken in the fact that he needed to run it through management and take the proper protocol that way.
So he didn't do his job correctly.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in that day.
That day he didn't do his job correctly. So that day he didn't do his job correctly, okay. What's the policy for, if someone requests a manager?
Usually you ask a gatekeeper, or if you get to the counter and you're working with a CSR, you ask the CSR, they get a manager, and they come over and they address you.
Now, when I asked the gatekeeper to, make a public records request, she says, hold on, I'm gonna go ask my manager. Now, why didn't I get to speak to a manager?
I can't answer that. I don't ever see managers.
What's the policy towards how you treat the public?
We treat them with dignity and respect, and we expect the same thing back.
What about sarcasm? Is that part of the policy?
No.
How about aggressiveness?
No.
No? Did you see Jeff being aggressive for you?
I didn't see the video of that.
Why did you stop watching?
That's the only piece that they gave me.
Who's they?
IT. I pulled it from IT. IT gave me the video of you coming in and sitting in the office without getting a ticket. That was the main concern on my end.
So you never saw me being unsafe?
I didn't watch the video.
The video you've seen, was I being unsafe?
No. From the time you sat in the lobby to the time you approached the gatekeeper the first time, there was no aggression.
Nothing.
No.
Right. So why would a safety agent get involved?
Because now you're by the door and you're noticed that you have a body cam on. When you sat in the lobby, nobody noticed you had that body cam on.
And now you're saying you're gonna revise the policy that no cameras can be in there at all?
I'm not saying the policy is going to be revised. It may be clarified, but certainly anybody that gives us the perception that there's that possibility that video is being taken or being recorded, we're going to adjust it.
So it's gonna be based on your perception and your perception only? Not law, not anything else?
Yeah, not a lawyer.
Is it gonna be based on your perception only, and the perception of the employees of the
It's
TCO?
going to be based on the interpretation of the policy unless they make it more black and white and defined.
So not perception now? Earlier you testified perception.
Perception of the policy, our understanding of the policy, to me are one and the same in interchangeable terms. So unless they change that policy and make it more direct and black and white, yes, it's going to be my
You didn't
perception.
testify that if you perceive you're recording. You didn't testify that earlier? You didn't say anything about the policy.
I'm still saying, if I perceive that you're recording, you're in violation of my policy, I have to address it.
So if somebody's surreptitiously recording, everything's fine. You have no recourse, is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
If someone is surreptitiously recording, you have no recourse then, right?
Somebody what? I'm sorry?
Surreptitiously. In other words, they're recording, but you can't tell. I have a pen camera. I have a pin camera. I have a tie camera.
No, we can't get that defined with it, unfortunately. I wish we could, but we can't.
So if I want to record in the TCO, all I gotta do is have a hidden camera and everything will be fine. Is that correct?
You're running the risk when you expose that video
Risk of?
of violating our policy.
Then what? How would you prove it?
That's not my job, that's an attorney's job.
So you go by your perception. So if you don't perceive there's a hidden camera, there's nothing you can do. You don't see an issue there?
No.
There's no issue. So in other words, what you're saying is anyone who wants to record in the public lobby of the TCO, they have to hide it better. So that you don't perceive that somebody's recording.
And the customers don't see me either.
On the surveillance, did you see the other people recording in there?
No.
Did you see me recording in there?
I saw you with your body cam.
Did you see me recording?
I couldn't verify that it was
So
on
you
or not.
still can't tell if I was recording to this day.
Yeah, I object outside the scope. She wasn't even involved in the decision.
Why she here?
She testified to their general policies.
correct employee saying he's mistaken about the recording inside there, what they told the police in. Okay, very good.
Alright, just more, the video that was showed, from the Land O'Lakes office, the August 28th video. The manager of the Land O'Lakes office.
Yes.
So that's 6 months ago, give or take?
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of that video?
No.
What you saw in that video consistent with your written policy that you abide by?
After the fact, no.
Talking about cameras and smartphones, that you were asking a cross-examination, well, everyone has a camera in their pocket, right? Is your office's video recording policy, is it meant to ban all cell phone use in the tax collector's office?
Not all cell phone use, just the videotaping. Occasionally we have parents, when their kids first get their driver's license, of course they want to get that picture. They just passed their road test, we ask them to take it outside. We have parents that want to take videos of a little toddler running through the lobby, and again, we go over and tell them, sorry, you can't do that, they need to take it outside, and they do.
But doesn't the policy actually say this is not intended as an all-encompassing ban on the use of cell phones? So you have to kind of make an analysis on a case-by-case basis, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone walking around with a phone in their pocket, that's not gonna trigger any
It
problem.
isn't, no.
Compared with someone with a body camera strapped to their chest with a flashing red light, is that kind of gonna raise alarm?
It is, and a body camera has no other purpose.
You were asked about eyeglass cameras and pen cameras, and your staff, I mean, they can't stop every incident of video recording, unfortunately. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
They try their best.
we do.
Something's obvious, blatant, raises suspicion, they're gonna act.
Right, yes, sir.
So even with the example of the pen, if it did catch their attention, they're gonna react, right?
They are, they're gonna ask.
Did you have any involvement in the decision that was made to have this individual trespass in the Wesley Chapel office?
No.
The body camera that you tested, the one that says in use in Gulf Harbors,
Yes.
have you ever been able to replicate a scenario where it's flashing red light but not recording?
No.
No further redress.
You're saying that about your specific body cam, not mine.
No.
Okay, very good.
What do we got for this witness? There's another witness, one more witness. That corporal kneels out. Good afternoon. Corporal Zalba, were you previously sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Please state your full name
Neil Zalba,
and where are you employed?
PASCO Sheriff's Office.
What is your position with the PASCO? No further questions.
Take 10 seconds to get your door.
Quickly.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to sustain the objection that it's not relevant. Question's not relevant.
It's not relevant that there
Why
are,
we're here today.
there aren't, and not answer questions. Miranda's something separate. Miranda went to, Miranda was created because a guy named Miranda was forced to answer questions, not realizing he had the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
I know.
So they passed Miranda.